Shalom, Akim, Shalom. Many of you have seen this movie called Leave the World Behind, all right? So, Leaving the World Behind, or Leave the World Behind is a movie about, you know, what's getting ready to happen here in Babylon the Great, all right? So, yeah, spoiler alert, I am going to go over some of the scenes, okay? Just kind of talk about it and give some quick precepts, just something quick to edify the hopeful elect out there. Okay, a lot of symbolism in this movie, a lot of what do you call it, predictive programming. Okay, but we're just gonna kind of go over some of the basic scenes and how they relate to the scriptures. So without further ado, I want to start off by giving all honor, glory, and praises unto Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Racha Kwadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, from whom I learned this truth. And I want to say shalom to all the hopeful elect out there scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. Okay? So basically, we're going to start with 2nd Ezra, chapter 16. Okay? And we're going to start with verse 24. And before I read this, I want to tell you about the scene. So basically, in this movie, there comes a time when you got the main characters here, Amanda and Clay. They basically go out and start driving, and they end up coming to this house which belongs to these two here. You got GH or George and Ruth. Okay, this is a father, this is a daughter. This is a husband, this is a wife, right? In relation to each other, but they don't really know each other. These are two separate families, right? But they come together inside these people's houses, which is a very nice house, all right? There's the scene when they meet, okay? They're like, hey, look, something's going on. There's a power outage, da-da-da. And so they're like, yeah, let us stay in the basement. And then so they agree. And then basically they go and stay in the basement. The wife's a little iffy about it. Okay, but after a while they grow on each other. And so basically there comes a time when they start trying to, they start going back and forth, trying to go to the city or trying to go get, a newspaper or something to find out what the hell's going on. And so this woman says, because the funny thing is she started the movie saying she hates people, but now she's like, man, I wish I could see somebody. We haven't seen anybody in days or weeks, and then that leads me to this scripture right here, 2nd Ezra chapter 16, and we'll start verse 24. There shall be no man left to till the earth and to sow it. The trees shall give fruit, and who shall gather them? The grapes shall ripen, and who shall tread them? For all places shall be desolate of men. All right, and we can get that word desolate, which simply means deserted of people and in a state of bleak and dismal emptiness, right? Because what the fuck is going on? Everyone's freaking the fuck out. Where is everybody? Did everybody die? Did my loved ones die? The phones aren't working, right? The towers are down. The power's out. Nobody knows what the fuck is going on. The GPS ain't working, right? Verse 27, so that one man shall desire to see another and to hear his voice. For of a city there shall be 10 left, and 2 of the field, which shall hide themselves in the thick groves and in the clefts of the rock. You see? That's how it's going to get ready to be here in Babylon the Great, man. When the power goes out, when an EMP hits, when the hackers take over, or when a nuke goes off, it destroys a power plant or whatever they decide to do to get this thing going, or maybe Esau Edom himself will just turn off the switch, Hey, that's exactly what's going to happen, man. All of us out here, we might get tired of our coworkers and shit, or people that we got to deal with on a day-to-day basis, but on that day, people are going to want to see other people and be like, fuck, where is everybody, man? It'd be nice to see a person and be like, yo, what's going on? But you won't be able to, because a lot of those people are going to get put to death. All right? A lot of people are going to get put to death, and a lot of people are going to be running around. Okay, so you won't even see anybody on the roads. It's going to be hectic. All right. And so basically, this movie uh, is pretty close to what's going to happen. I recommend you brothers out there watch this movie. It's pretty close to what's going to happen in real life. Of course, in real life, it's going to be a hell of a lot worse. But this is the soft core version of what actually is going to happen. You know? And you got some adulterous shit going on in this movie, but, take the good with the bad. Just toss the bad and, you know, use it to gain your little example of what needs to be, you know, for edification here. So let's go to Second Esdras, okay? Because Second Esdras is the main book that really explains what goes on in this movie. But there's some others too. So basically, they're still driving around, and there comes a scene when a bunch of Tesla cars pile up at the end of the highway, and basically for miles and miles it's nothing but Tesla cars. So in the movie, a hacker, got hold of these Tesla cars and started crashing them all into each other to block all the major roads. And so basically, Amanda and her husband, Clay, let me get him real quick here. This guy, Clay and Amanda, they start driving, trying to go back to the city here. So they left George and Ruth at their house, and they decided to go back to their house in the city. But they couldn't escape because there was just a huge pile up for miles and miles and miles and miles, and there was no way out. All right. So this is Second Esdras, chapter 15, and we're gonna start with verse 15. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. You see, that's what we've been talking about. Okay, when the shit hits the fan, there's no food, there's no water, there's no electricity, right? Because how you gonna go to the supermarket if you don't have power, or we don't have internet? Everything's gonna get fucked up. So people are gonna be fighting each other, trying to take what little they have from each other. Okay, there shall be sedition among men. All right, sedition, which means conduct or speech inciting people to rebel against the authority of a state or monarch. Yeah, and people have already been having that sedition, basically saying we need to stand up against this corrupt government, and we need to, blah blah blah. Aside from the typical bullshit about, oh, we need to vote the right people in and vote the wrong people out and blah, all that bullshit. Now you got people calling for violence, because now they're starting to realize, oh, you can't vote anybody in, because everybody that's in is an unelected official. Oh, now it all makes sense. Now they want to start fucking getting their pitchforks and all that, but it's too late. It says there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. You see? So people are going to be breaking into each other's houses, neighbors, friends. It says they shall not regard their kings nor princes. Yeah. So, they are going to get some payback. All right. A lot of these people, they're going to break into these governors' houses and these princes' houses and these, high authority figures in the House and Senate and all this other stuff. And of course, the actual term princes around the world. You still got princes out there. And the course of their actions shall stand in their power, right? So they're going to be able to do whatever they want with you if unelected officials, all right? Because they're going to get fucking pissed, and there's going to be a time when there's not going to be any more order. It's just going to be chaos, all right? And verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. You see? Because in that movie, it showed that huge pileup. Okay, and of course there's no power, so you can go into the city, I guess physically, but really, are you in a city, or is it just destroyed? It says 18, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be what? Destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Men shall be afraid. That's how bad it's going to be. You're going to have men out here crying and screaming like women. Okay, and there's another particular scene where you got these animals, you got these beasts, you got deer, and I remember in one part of the movie there were they this house that the GH and Ruth have. Oh, there's the pile up scene right there. You can't get past that. It's just hundreds of cars piled up, right? But let's go to the flamingo scene real quick. There was a swimming pool that the GH had in his backyard, and at night, a shitload of flamingos got in there, man. All right, and during the day, the little girl Rosie saw a fuck ton of deer. You know, so deer and flamingo coming into people's houses, like hundreds and thousands of them. All right, and thousands of birds in the skies of the city. Okay, that's all throughout the movie. All right, now let's read this right here. Jeremiah 50:9. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against. Okay, that's not it. Second Ezra 5:8. There shall be a confusion also in many places. Okay, and again, when the power went out, a lot of people were confused. Like, what's going on? Are we gonna be okay? And they kept, trying to keep their hopes up. Oh, everything's gonna go back to normal. But no, it didn't go back to normal, right? It says, and the fire shall be oft sent out again, and the wild beasts shall change their places. And that's what you see in the movie. You see the flamingos going into the swimming pool. You see the deer coming into the yard. Hundreds of deer, hundreds of flamingos, hundreds of birds right over the houses in the big cities too. Okay? It says, and menstruous women shall bring forth monsters. And that's those GMO babies that you see nowadays. What we call niggas out there in the hood. All right? And some of you spics too. Okay? Our own people. All right? Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians acting like niggas out there in the street just killing each other. But when they see the white man, they act all cool and shit. But when they see their own people, they want to take your life, mean mugging you everywhere you go. You're just trying to fucking look at your surroundings, and some motherfuckers mean mugging you, like waiting for you to look at them so they could start something. Those GMO babies, hey, that's gonna be a field day. All right, when this fucking shit goes down, these GMO babies are gonna be fucking killing each other left and right. They're going to be getting put to death. All right? That's all in this movie, man. And the wild beasts shall change their places, which is the main point, right? Because we had these flamingos in the swimming pool. Which, how the fuck is flamingos going to go into a swimming pool, right? That never happens. All right? And then you have deer, hundreds of deer coming to your house. All right, thousands of birds in the sky. That's all in the movie. And then, of course, there's a scene. There's a scene where there's here it is, where they see this piece of paper. It was falling from the sky, and it says "Death to America" on the front part of it, and on the back it looks like it's written in Arabic, right? So basically, they saw this, and then there's a man named I forgot what that side character was. Let's get that real quick. So you got the cast here. Let's get it. This guy, Danny, right? So this guy was the guy in the movie that was like overly prepared and shit. He's with what they called in the movie a conspiracy theorist. So he had everything prepared for this moment. And so they went over to his house to get some information, but really it was because the boy Archie, his teeth was falling out from a bug bite. Again, so beasts would trade places, right? Or maybe, it was talking about Lyme disease, so you got pestilence in there. But maybe the main point right here I'm making is they went to this guy Danny's house, and his teeth was falling out. So they thought maybe Danny has some medicine because he's always prepared and shit. They get into it. Next thing you know, they're talking, right? And Danny ends up telling him like, "Hey, look, uh, basically this is all the Koreans." And then they show him that paper, and they're like, "No, look, we saw this. It looks Arabic." And he's like, "Yeah, likely what's going on is, we pissed the world off. America pissed the world off, and all these different nations are teaming up against us. All right?" Which is exactly what's going to happen, and that's how this place is going to be destroyed ultimately through thermonuclear destruction. And that brings me to Jeremiah 50 and verse 9. "For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon," right, against America, "an assembly of great nations," right, an assembly, okay, so multiple nations, right, a group of people gathered together, right, so basically a group of nations gathered together in one place for a common purpose. And what's that purpose? To destroy America, aka Babylon the Great. "For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country." Okay, and we know the northernmost country is Russia, all right, who would end up being the leader of basically of this tumult or of this assembly. It says, "And they shall set themselves in array against her." Okay, an impressive display or range of a particular type of thing, right? It's going to be very impressive. Okay, it says, "And they shall set themselves in array against her, from thence she shall be taken." Right, she's going to get taken, man. All right, almost like when a woman gets taken, right, or raped. That's pretty much how America is going to be taken down, by force. "From thence shall she be taken. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man," right? "Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain." So basically every arrow they shoot or every weapon they use against America, Babylon the Great, is gonna hit its target. Okay, and if you read Revelation chapter 9, it goes into 200 million nuclear missiles are going to end up hitting this place, man. All right, but that's at the very, very end. Okay, but first it might end up being, like in the movie, cyber attacks. Okay, sabotaging power plants. Satellites falling from the sky and shit. All right, it might be just shit like that to start, but eventually it will lead up to this. Okay. And of course, I don't want to make this video too long, so I'm just going to close it out with this. Proverbs 13 and 22. "A good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children." Okay? And I'm bringing this out because in the movie, you see a lot of these bunkers. They talk about these bunkers, right? And so they end up founding, the little girl, Rosie, end up founding a bunker. And there was like endless food and movies and entertainment, and there was electricity because there was generators and shit. Right, but in that day, it's gonna feel like wealth, right? And everything hits the fan. Those bunkers are basically stored up for the elect. All right, these rich assholes that are creating them, they think it's gonna be for them, man. But the Lord's gonna put them to death, and the elect are the ones who's gonna find this, more than likely. All right, because Proverbs 13 and 22 says, "A good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children, and the wealth of the sinner is laid up for the just." You see? And of course, this is also going into the kingdom to come, man. Because once Esau's world is over, okay, is the beginning of Jacob's world. Okay? Second Ezra 6 and 9. "For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth." Esau is the end of the world. When the so-called white man rules, that's the last empire before Jacob. Okay, so once this empire is down, Jacob is coming on the scene. Who's Jacob? Israel. All right, who rules through Israel? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. So the Heavenly Father, through His only begotten Son, is going to raise up Israel to rule the world after this system goes down, which is a beautiful thing. All right, and that's what we look forward to, a kingdom wherein dwelleth righteousness. All right, but first these punishments must come for the wickedness that this land has done, and this land was built on blood, the blood of the Israelites. Okay, lies, theft, robbery, rape, murder. All right, so the Lord's coming back to avenge us and take us out of this captivity through a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, just like he did in Egypt when he parted the Red Sea for Moses to lead his people through, and then closed it back up to destroy the Egyptians. Hey, these Egyptians are going to be destroyed, man. But the elect, who's doing the will of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, all right, who's you know following the commandments to the best of our abilities, keeping the faith in Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, doing the work in sincerity and in truth. Hey, those of us, Lord willing, we're gonna be the ones that make it through this thing, man. But we gotta make it through it. We're not gonna escape it. We're gonna make it through it. You see, like gold in the fire, man. So with that, I want to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakwadash. Again, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and shalom to the hopeful elect out there. Shalom.